Hey, what is up, guys? iBladeWorks here, and it's been a bit since I made a video, but I decided that it's time to get started again. I posted two videos that are kind of interesting, just trying to get back into the swing of things, which was interesting. But now I think that I can start making videos more often. I have my computer full access back for the most part. Summer is in full swing now. School's over. I graduated high school. Happy day. And then getting prepared to go to college in the fall, which should be interesting on a track scholarship. So, kind of what this video is is now that summer's kind of kicking in, this is where a lot of people start to make their ranked pushes. Because the season ends November 11th every year, and this is usually when people are trying to, get up to gold. So, right now I'm at sitting at gold 3. I actually did hit my promos a couple nights ago, or actually yesterday, and I lost them. So I have to work my way back up and try to play them again. But everyone's slowly trying to climb right now. There's some of them just don't like rank like this guy. You never know. And because of that, I decided to make a video kind of outlining, giving a couple pieces of advice to people that are going to be playing ranked in this coming summer. And this isn't just from like a gold perspective. I've done a lot of research into it and seen what diamond players thought and all that stuff. So when it comes down to ranked, this is where it all happens, basically. So to get the kind of the, I guess the rewards that most people want, you have to be at least gold. You get the icon, the banner, the loading screen border, and most importantly, the championship skin. And then when you play ranked team games, you get points every time you win one, and then you can get these cool rewards right here. Those are a little bit hard to get. You have to play a lot of them, and then you can be part of, I believe, actually, you can be part of a lot of ranked teams, I believe. This one's mine. We're not very good. If you haven't noticed, it's mostly built out of bronze players because those are my friends from school. And then this is just one we made with basically the same people. So talking about rank. So the way the rank system works, it's an MMR system, which would be a kind of an invisible number that is around your skill level. So what happens is when you play first, you just have provisionals right here. If you look at, say, who has not? This guy. These are all my friends, so they shouldn't mind. Let's see if we can find someone that's actually played a game of that's not ranked yet. Because there should be. There you go. So you have these. These are placement games. So placement games, you have to play 10 games, and they count for double what they usually would do. If you played last season, then you'll start somewhere around where you were the last season. If it's your first season, then you generally start from a medium of about silver 5-ish, and you work from there. So generally, if you win, what happens is you play your games and you go through, and if you win them, you get double, and then you get placed somewhere between, say, bronze 5 and gold 5. Bronze 5 saying you lost all of them to people that are lower ranked than you, and gold 5 seeing as you win all 10 of them, and you play generally against people that are higher ranked than you, which is harder to do than you'd think. So, if you want any advice on that, if you're going into placement games, you want to be playing. It's better to win at the start than like have a win streak at the start, win your first 5 and lose your last 5, than to lose your first 5 and win your last 5. Because what happens is as you win, if you're on a win streak, you win the first 5, your MMR goes higher, which means when you lose again, you're usually losing against people that are higher ranked than you. Difference is when you lose your placement games in the first 5, then you're winning against people that are lower ranked than you. So you'd be placed higher if you win your first 5 and lose your last 5 versus if you lose your first 5 and or lose your first 5 and win your last 5. So kind of the goal here is to win your first 5 at least. And we place pretty high. And then if you played last season, it's a little bit different equation. You go and it takes the minimum, which would be silver 5 MMR, which is around like 1200, and then your current MMR, which in my case was about 1500, and then takes the average of that, basically, add them together divided by 2. And then based off how you play in that is where you get placed. So that's kind of the equation that goes into it. A lot of people don't really understand that. So kind of my advice as far as like what you do when ranked goes is there's kind of two ways you really go about it. A, you're a one-trick pony, or B, you're kind of a jack of all trades. You play them all. You do it all. So let me see if I can go to my league. So if you look at stats, I'm not really the best player in the world, but there's kind of the jack of all trades is kind of a person that can play all the different, I guess, lanes, a lot of different champions. It can kind of play everyone, every champion at an okay level. While the one trick pony is someone that kind of sticks to one lane or one character. In my case, I'm more or less kind of a medium between. I play around probably 5 or 6 characters mainly, and most of those characters I can play in multiple lanes. I play Shyvana a lot, that's why I've been playing a lot lately, and I can take her to the jungle or to the top. While I can play Diana, I can take her to mid, top, jungle. The Sandra I can take to top, mid, and support. And then Fiora I can take top, jungle, mid too. And those are kind of who I like to play a lot. While someone that's more of a one trick pony, like my friend Ty that we play with a lot. So Ty plays a lot of Darius. It doesn't show on these because he hasn't really been playing much, but generally his match history is just Darius, and that's the person he's best at playing at. Ooh, he left again. A lot of times we end up sticking him in other lanes though, but he's a Darius main, generally. He's probably has, if you say he's played somewhere around 10 to 20,000 games or so, probably 10,000 of those are on Darius and the rest are just random characters, if not more. Like out of those wins, I guarantee you about 150 of them are probably Darius playing. So now we got that. So when you go into ranked, before you start playing ranked at all, I really would recommend having your runes and masteries in place. So if you look at some of my runes, these are just kind of basic ones with, this is a flat AD page, AD quints, attack damage marks, armor seals, and I take scaling magic resist on my blues generally if I'm playing an AD character. While on my AP characters, seeing as I play in mid generally, I take magic pen, flat AP, armor, and then flat MR because generally you play against mages in the mid lane. And if you play against a Yasuo, you can switch to this one, which is a flat AP page with AP quints and seals, armor, oh, yeah, glyphs, quints and glyphs, AP, armor on your yellows, on your seals, and then red on your magic pen. Then you have different pages for other things, say an ADC page where I take 2 life steals, an attack speed, flat AD, armor, and scaling magic resist because generally you don't need the magic resist till later. And then this is kind of my jungle page for a lot of the junglers that need attack speed, which are attack speed quints, AD reds, armor yellows, and scaling magic resist blues because I use this in the jungle generally, which means you won't need the magic resist till a lot later in the game. Likewise, I would make sure you have your mastery pages in swords. I have a decent amount of mastery pages, 16. I don't really think I need more than that. A lot of people have like 20 to 30, which is pretty ridiculous. You don't need that many. So these are kind of my general pages. They're pretty organized. You have a general AP page ranged, which is for like Nidalee characters that don't really need the early armor. Then you have a melee AP page, which I use with Diana, Fizz, stuff like that, which generally, I guess you have the armor because you need a little bit more, as you're since you guys are less of a caster, more of an assassin. And then you have like an AP jungle page where you take the armor masteries along with the normal AP masteries. And, oh, I should change this. I should probably change that too. There we go. And then you have like an AP tank page where there's AP masteries along with tank. And if you want to copy any of these down, they're pretty general. It's pretty straightforward. It tells you what type you'd be playing it with. So they really are self-explanatory. And when I play games, then I'll usually just put the page in and you can come and look at them later on my account. And then at the very end, after you have all the general pages, I don't really play AD supports. I don't have an AD support page. Then you have some specific pages to characters you play a lot, which in my case is Diana. I play a lot of Diana, so I have a Diana mid and jungle page separate. And then I have an Eve for AP mid and an AD Eve jungle because I like AD Eve better. I haven't made a Shyvana page or anything like that. I just generally use my AD tank jungle, which works really well generally, seeing as she is one of the characters I play the best. And that's just kind of your guide to masteries. I'd look at them. Item sets generally aren't important as far as ranked play goes. You generally really don't need them. I just kind of have a general AP page where I just have all my AP items I'm building right now. But otherwise, you're pretty good. So, going into ranked, I should probably explain real fast the difference between when you go into a rank, it says solo or duo. And there are advantages and disadvantages to both, which you probably want to consider before you actually go in and play. Solo queue, you just play with people that are around your skill level. There's no really calculations going on besides, well, I'll explain a little bit into that later. While duo queue, what it does is if you play with one of your friends, say I'm gold 3, I play with my friend, he's silver 3, it takes the average. So you take the two averages divided by 2, and you get the middle, which means that we'd be playing around gold 5, silver 1-ish, and that can be a good thing or a bad thing depending, because it means that if we win, that my silver friend gets a lot of MMR and LP, and I really don't get much, versus if we lose, because I'm playing with people that are lower ranked than me, I lose a ridiculous amount and he doesn't really lose anything at all. So if you're helping a friend and you want to sacrifice your MMR a little bit, then that's a good way to do it. Or if you can convince one of your friends to play with you that's higher ranked, like a plat friend or something, and you want to gain MMR faster, it helps a lot. But note that you're probably screwing over your allies too, because generally what happens is when you play, let's say you and your friend duo up, and you're the same rank, you're silver 2, silver 1. It takes your MMR, puts them together, divides them by 2, and then adds around 50 because you guys have the advantage of communication generally over a Skype call or TeamSpeak or whatnot. Which means that you guys better be winning hard because every other lane besides yours will be playing someone that's higher ranked than them, probably higher skill level too. So you're kind of screwing over your allies in that way, which is not the best idea in the world. Okay, let's go a little bit into solo queue. So when you play a solo queue game, generally what it does is you're only meant to win about, say, half of them. If you play 10 straight games, your first three, let's say 3 out of the 10, you'll be meant to win. You'll be have a higher ranked team with higher ranked players than the other team. Let's say, like in a few of my games earlier in the week, I played. My team was made out of 3 golds and 2 plats, and the other team was made up against just 4 golds and a silver. And we won that pretty hard. We were kind of meant to. And there were about 3 games like that, and I played around 10 games. And then another 3 out of them, I was playing with solid gold and unranked and a silver, and the other team had 2 golds and 3 plats, which means we weren't really meant to win that game. And then the rest of them, the other 4 out of the 10, are meant to be skill matchups, which means if you play well, you should be able to carry yourself. And if you don't play well, then you probably will lose. It's a game that you're meant to be able to carry. It's just an even matchup. So basically, you really are only meant to win about half your games. That's just the way they have it set up. That's why most people only have around a 50, 60% win rate, if not somewhere between 40 and 60 generally. You're not meant to win all of them, and generally you won't. So it's just kind of how it goes. So also, the kind of the last recommendation I'm going to give you as far as playing ranked goes is when you decide what you do, in the NA region, generally people are one-trick ponies. A lot of the challenger players just play 1 or 2 characters and that's it, and that's how they got to challenger. And I really wouldn't recommend that. I mean, a lot of people get to diamond challenger like that, but it's not my recommendation. If you look more like the Chinese and the Korean players, they generally are more, they kind of play everything. They're jack of all trades. They can play anything in any lane, and you can give your teammates the lanes that they want, which generally helps them play better. if they can get the lane that they're the best at. That way, it's less fighting and between the players, and you fight less, generally you win more. It's just that thing. So my recommendation is to try to be good, at least have a general idea of what you're doing with every single lane, while being at least average with all of them. But it really isn't bad just to play one lane, one character, and just be really good at them, because you can carry yourself all the way up to Challenger if you do that. A lot of people do it in NA, so it's not impossible, but it's not easy. So that's kind of my general consensus, I guess, when you play ranked. I really wouldn't start until you're 100% sure you can at least play in a silver, because once you get into bronze, it's really hard to get out. And I guess one last piece of advice is when you're playing, honestly, getting some applications that'll help you look at what the other team is and what they're running, because you want to pay attention to what their, I guess, what the runes are and what their masteries are, because that's how you know if you can go aggressive or not and how to kind of play the lane right. And if you do that, you win lane. Because if as long as you win your lane, in solo queue, you really do want to focus on yourself. Because a lot of times your teams won't back you up. So just worry about your own lane and play your own game. Because that's how you're gonna win. So that's kind of my advice. Good luck in climbing the ranks this season. It's not easy. All of us are trying to do it. I'm gonna go for plat, maybe diamond this season. I'm confident I can get to plat. I really haven't played ranked very much, but I think I can do it. It shouldn't be that hard. And just good luck, guys. Just play your own game and don't worry about everyone else because being toxic isn't going to get you anywhere. See you guys later. I'm out.